What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we just did the live stream and that video is up last Friday. Congrats to the 3 winners. There's plenty more key tags to go around, guys, so stay tuned for that. We're gonna keep doing the giveaway until we run out of key tags, and that means we're gonna have 3 more weeks of giveaways. So here we have a 15-gallon fuel cell from eBay. It was like 109 bucks, and the reason why I stuck with 15 is because the stock gas tank is 11.9, and this is the closest thing to it. I didn't want to go smaller like a 10, and I didn't want to go 20 like Pablo, because you know, this is a daily. I want to keep the weight down. Pablo's reason for a giant fuel cell is because his pump station is far, so he'd rather pump the full 20 into the car and you know, have 20 gallons at home rather than make multiple trips. For me, 15 is perfect. It'll fit inside the trunk area without having to modify too much of the trunk itself. But I did measurements, and it should fit literally right here in this square section. It is sumped right here for 2-10s. As far as my fuel line goes, I bought this originally for the CRX last year, and I never got around to using it because the motor never went back into the car. The head was gone for like 11 months and just kind of lost motivation. Just started using the CRX as a daily instead of trying to make a race car out of it. So the lines that I'm using is -6 PTFE for the return right here, and then these right here are -8 PTFE for the feed line. And that's pretty much going to be my fuel system. It's rated for a lot of horsepower, so this is going to be cherry for when I do go E85 and when the new CSS motor goes into the car. I have a Fuel-It filter. This is like a good 6 inches with -8 feeds already on it. The bracket for the filter, and then I have a bunch of -8s and -6 for the return line. But the reason why I'm laying all this out now, I'm going to try to figure out what I'm missing, because this was set up for the stock fuel tank. It's not set up for an inline fuel pump, so I got to figure out what I need, how long I need everything to be, and I'm going to have to go and buy an external inline fuel pump and then the rest of the fittings that I need to make it all work. So I'm gonna lay everything out, brainstorm real quick, and go from there. I know what all fittings I am missing, so I'm gonna have to make a trip out to Brian to pick up everything else that I need. But I was kind of brainstorming the tank here a little bit. Now originally I was supposed to cut the tub, bring this sucker flat down, right, and have trunk space in here again, but it looks like that's not the case, because the subframe where the diff mounts to, it's like right here on the bottom side, so I can't cut through that because that's obviously what's holding up the low control arm and stuff. And I also just saw that if I did bring the tank down, this is the end of the tub right here, and if I brought it further down, you're probably going to see the tank about right here. Now I'm not worried about it because I was going to paint it black anyways, but I'd lose this guy as well too, so don't want to do that. I'm going to sacrifice the trunk space by just leaving it right here inside of the spare tire area, and I'm just going to make brackets to kind of pick up the tank a little bit off the floorboard itself, because it is, you know, obviously uneven, right? The only other issue is the sump being non-accessible from right here. What I have to do is I'm gonna have to put the fitting on here first, tighten it down, and then set the tank into place, bolt it up, have an entry hole right here somewhere with the grommet, and have the line going out, coming out, going over there, and I'm probably gonna have the pump either here or further down, and then the filter up in the front. But now I gotta brainstorm the bracketry. I'm going to keep my fuel cell mounting area very simple here. I'm just doing square tubing from one end to the other on both sides, and it's going to go underneath the fuel cell, so it's going to support the fuel cell other than just the mounting tabs, because if I didn't have anything in the middle, you know, this can potentially bow and break due to the weight of fuel. And I also bought the what is it, sponge window seal, and this right here is the length of the square tubing. It's like 1 point something inches or something like that, 1 inch. And this right here is going to be on the square tubing side, so when the cell sits on there, it's not metal to metal contact. It's going to be cushioned in the middle. And then there's going to be obviously 4 bolts for the mounting tabs to the square tubing, which I also purchased right here. Right now I'm just getting the first one measured out, and right now it's kind of in place. I want the cell to be, you know, squared, straight, centered in the wheel well, and I have to trim this off a little bit so we can scoot the cell over a tad bit more. I'm still debating about welding it on here permanently or just capping off the end, putting a nut, and then, you know, putting a screw from the back side underneath here so that this is completely removable. Alright guys, let me give you a quick little update here. So this bar, I pretty much welded the end shut with a 12mm nut on the back of that plate so I can thread into it on both ends, right? And then what I did was I took this, put it inside the tub. I added the fuel cell, and then I marked out the holes for the bolt. And then once I got that marked and the tank was nice and leveled, I pulled it back out, and then I drilled it through with the nut, and then I welded the nut into place on both sides. And then what I did was put it back in here, put the fuel cell on here with those propping the right side, got the left side sitting on here, bolted in place. And then I leveled the fuel cell using the shelves with this flat stock. Now it's not the straightest thing in the world, but it gives me an idea of the distance from the top of the fuel cell to this piece to compare it to the back side. The same thing, the top of the tank to this piece. And it's okay if the back is slanted a little bit because we do have a sump tank, so technically when the car goes forward, all the fuel is going to come back anyways, and we want to make sure we have fuel in the sump at all times, because if the pump sucks dry, we might have an issue. And then once I got the tank leveled up once again, I pretty much made my mark right here on the frame on both sides, and then I pretty much marked this cross right here to find the center of this hole, and then transferred this over to the frame, made that T, and then drilled those holes out. So right now it bolts up. I'm about to do so, and then what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to make another one of this for the other side, and then do the same process, get it leveled, get it all nice and straight, bolted to the frame. Guys, it is the 3rd day of this damn video, and I feel so unproductive the last 2. Last night, there was one too many people here, and it was just too clustered with all my stuff out, people inside there drinking and all that stuff. So I closed up, went inside. We have the fuel cell super mounted in place. I'm gonna take out the fuel cell, and I'm gonna show you guys how I mounted the bracket in place. Underneath here we have 112, another one over here, one right there, and then one. So here's the bracketry in the spare tire compartment, and it's fully bolted down right now. It's pretty firm. And what I was gonna do was I was gonna put a crossbar right here to the other side, but this is super short, so cannot make further progress on this until I get more material. Made a little template right here, and this right here should clear the fuel cell. It sits a little bit lower than the square tubing. I'm gonna make this out of sheet metal, and then I'm gonna make the sides, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add little tabs. I'm gonna add like a little extra tabs on the sides so we could rivet it to the main piece here, and then the sides will also have tabs on the opposite end where I'm going to be able to rivet it to the body, right? And then maybe I'll put like window caulking or just put tape on it so that way elements don't get past, you know, the plate. But I'm gonna start cutting it out now. This is my diff cover, and it's not the prettiest, but A for effort. And what I meant by making those extra tabs, I meant these guys right here. Pretty much folded them over and riveted to the top piece, and then the side ones right there is going to be riveted to the chassis. Now before I put this on, I'm going to put some window caulking right there on the joints where you can see right through, and right there as well. I'm also gonna put like a nice, you know, solid bead around the edge. So once I rivet it in place, it's gonna compress the bead against the chassis, and we'll move on to possibly the battery box, because I want to make sure I have all the compliances to run at the track. Especially having a battery right next to a fuel cell, I want to make sure that it's enclosed. It's kind of secured right here, but I want to make sure that I have it in the box, and don't want to have to travel 2,200 miles for them to tell me I can't race down the track. So get this sealed up and possibly work on the battery box. Sunrise red is really close to the OEM Rio red. I painted the cover and you can see how much it blends in. The only difference is it's more shinier and then the interior is more dull, but really close. Right here in this corner is where I usually have my battery, and I've already moved the tray and the battery itself, but I had to trim the cargo panel right there a little bit, not too much. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put a nice sheet of steel right here, not too thick, right? Just so that it supports the whole bottom side and not just half of the battery box. And I'm gonna, you know, probably tack it in or bolt it in like I had it over here. Bolt it in the floorboard. Maybe weld some brackets from the board to the fuel cell bracket itself so it's more sturdier. And then once we have that big plate in place, we could bolt the battery box to that and then put the battery in, bolt it all up. I got holes on the side right here. One right here for the ground cable, one for the power, and that'll be that. But I'm gonna have to do this another day because I don't have materials. So what's going on, guys? It is the end of the video. It is the same night, day from the last clip, and everything from the last clip forward is super choppy. The audio was cut. I don't know what's wrong with the GoPro or the Rode mic or the adapter itself, but I was editing the video and pretty much just found the rest of the clips were unusable. So this video is pretty much just installing the fuel cell, getting that fixed into place. Although it's not 100% complete, I just need one crossbar welded in, painted up, and then the fuel cell should permanently be in place. So right now I'm just waiting for Brian to hit me back up so I can travel to his home to pick up the fuel pump and the rest of the fittings and lines that I need to plumb my fuel system. And that'll be in another video, kind of talking more in depth of what I'm going to be using and how to build some of the PTFE lines that are a little bit different than your regular AN hoses. So I'm going to do that in a separate video. I did have the 3 winners for the giveaway hit me up, and 2 of them are going out right here, and then I have the 3rd one, which is from the first winner, and he pretty much told me, hey, you know, he's been an OG subscriber since the early 1000, and you know, he enjoys my stuff, he loves what I do, and he said to keep the key tag or to give it to somebody else. And what I'm gonna do with the 3rd one is, you know, I'm gonna give it to the other person name that I selected in the live stream that didn't have the hashtag 4BP static giveaway, because he hit me back up on Instagram and sent me a screenshot that he only commented once, hashtag 4BP static giveaway, and the other one was kind of like a note. So I'm gonna accept that, and because his name was drawn, I'm gonna send that key tag to him. So I have 3 ready to go tomorrow right here. And don't worry, guys, for everybody who missed out on Friday's giveaway, we have plenty of more to come. I'm gonna do 3 more weeks of giveaway until we run out of key tag, guys. So with that being said, in this video and this video only, comment below hashtag 4BP static giveaway 2. Again, comment down below hashtag 4BP static giveaway 2. We're gonna be picking a winner on Friday again, like we did last week. So good luck to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the all-wheel drive CRX progress. Be sure to hit the like button if you guys did. We are closing in on the project, so be sure to hit the subscribe button to get further updates. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.